be doing that by looking at a set of questions. So by the end of this session, you would be able to actually answer some of the questions like these. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we would be looking at these questions that what is Tableau? How does it compare to the other market leaders? What are the different kind of editions that we have? And how can we choose the correct edition to work with as per our needs? So without further ado, let's go to what is Tableau. So Tableau, as we have already discussed about, it's a data visualization tool. It's a most intuitive, user-friendly tool that we can use uh, for visualizing the data to reach to a decision point a lot quicker than if we don't have any kind of visualization. So that's actually Tableau. It was acquired in 2003 by Salesforce, and in this much time only, it has captured the world very easily, right? So it's very flexible. It's end-to-end analytical platform for data. So using Tableau, we can create data visualizations, right? But in the market, there are too many competitors for the Tableau itself, and these are, if you would know, these are Power BI, Oracle BI, CSense, Burst, ClickView, and so many others. So this data that I'm presenting right now, where it says the SAP Business Objects has got 98 percentile. So if Tableau is 100, SAP would come at 98, ClickView 96, and so on. So because Tableau is so intuitive in terms of the data visualization, it has captured the market by storm. And if I would want to compare one of the most let's say Microsoft Power BI, which stands at the seventh position with 92, the Power BI is not very intuitive with the data visualization part, but it is too good when it comes to collecting data, modifying data through the Power Query that it has. So it's not that intuitive with or user friendly with the data visualization. But if you have some kind of a data which needs a modification, which is not, I mean, it has got the junk characters or something like that, we can use the Power Query of the Microsoft Power BI to cope with that. So it's all up to you what you want. Do you want the user interface to be good? You want the data correction to be better? It's all up to you, and on the basis of that, we can choose which product we are going with. So when we have gone with the Tableau, there comes the Tableau editions. So we have the desktop edition, the public edition, online edition, server edition, and the Tableau reader. As one can understand through Tableau reader, the name itself tells that it's only the reader. You cannot create any kind of visualizations through reader. It's free of cost. It is only capable enough of viewing the data that has been shared to you by some other person through, let's say, through physical files. Tableau files have an extension .twbx and .twb. Tableau booklet X is for data. So if there is a TWBX, we have got the data attached with that Tableau workbook. But if we do not have the X in that .twb, it is only the visualization. It doesn't carry the data with itself. So you cannot do any particular stuff apart from what has been provided to you. And reader itself is the most simplistic thing that we have just to view the data. Now coming to Tableau desktop. Now Tableau desktop, you can see, is a combination of these four things: Tableau Public, Tableau Online, Tableau Server, and Tableau Reader. So we have the power of all these four additions into one. We can use Tableau Desktop to upload the data onto the public website, Tableau Public, and it is also used for sharing the Tableau visualizations on Tableau Online and Tableau Server. Now, what are these? Now, Tableau Online and Tableau Server, both of them are the secured online data visualization sharing website, you can say. Both of these are very, very secure. And if you want to share your visualization to the people inside your organization, which would be very much interested in providing the security, then you can use the Tableau Online or Tableau Server. And Tableau Public, through Tableau Public also, we can share the visualizations online. If you would see this screen, this is also Tableau Public. So I've created this visualization through Tableau and shared it publicly. So it does not have to have a security point of view, and anybody can view this online. So that's the main additions that we have. And Tableau Desktop, as I said, is the most advanced thing because it has got all the capabilities of Tableau Public, Tableau Online, and the Tableau Server. So let's now look at how we can choose for a good addition for ourselves. Okay. So do you want to create a visualization or just view and interact it? So these are the questions that you can look at. I would like to just give you about this. So Tableau Reader that we talked about, this one, it's free of cost, right? And as you can see from this, are you able to, read the questions, or should I actually read them out for you?
Cheryl, I'm not able to see your screen actually somehow.
You're not able to see the screen. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see.
Disconnect and connect again.
Just a second. Now? Is it visible now?
No, Cheryl.
I'm able to see it. Shishi, are you connecting it through a mobile app?
No. Through laptop only.
Okay.
Then there might be a trouble with the laptop over there because other people are able to see that screen.
Anyone else who is not able to view the screen?
I'll disconnect and try to connect again.
Okay.
No problem, Shail. These are a small set of questions. You can read them out.
Yeah. So the first question that I would be looking at is, do you want to create the visualization or view to interact with it? And if yes or no, on the basis of that, you want to create a developing tool or not. Let's just focus on the reader itself, right? This one here. If I focus on the reader, do you want to create the visualization? Yes. Do you want to view the sharing tool? If yes, if you need to connect to the DB, there are two parts. One is yes and one is no. So if we go into the yes part, right, there is a frequent data update. If there is a frequent data update needed or not, there is no frequent data update is needed. And there is no need to view them on the web or on the phone. Then only we go for the Tableau Reader itself. And because apart from Tableau Reader and Tableau Public, this one here, we do not have any other Tableau edition which is free of cost. So we have to be very careful about what we want and what we don't want. So with the help of these questions that you can see over here, we can reach to our particular suitable edition that we have. And apart from that, we also have to see this, that if you are using Tableau Public, you won't be able to visualize for more than 1 million data rows, right? And if you use the Tableau Desktop, it is the most powerful one, so we can actually have as much data as we want. So the let's say the COVID-19 part that we are doing, it has got more than 1 million rows. So you won't be able to show all that using the Tableau Public itself. In terms of Google spreadsheets, that's the kind of a data that I'm talking about. So if there are more than 1 million rows, you won't be able to show them using the Tableau Public. But through Tableau Desktop, you would be able to do. And all these stuff, Tableau Public, Tableau Online, Tableau Server, all these are paid versions of the Tableau editions. So I hope you have an understanding of how we can go for a different, choosing a different edition of the Tableau itself. Is that so?
Just building upon whatever all this information that Cheryl has shared, I just want to put in my views as well, because I've also studied a bit about it. So Tableau is just data visualization software, which means that we can visualize the data in terms of charts, pie diagrams, bars, or graphs, and in some cases we can also map this data onto a country if we have got the country codes and the state names in the data, which is displayed on their website in case of COVID-19 as well, that they map their data as per the state in the United States. And the thing is that Excel is also a very powerful tool in itself, which provides all these capabilities. The only difference is that in Excel we can have a maximum of 1 million rows. However, there is no limitation in Tableau. We can have all big data solutions connected to this. So we can import data into Tableau through Excel files, through text files, through PDF files, JSON files, and other files which are not actually structured. And we can also connect our tool to other databases and other applications, like Snowflake is a data warehouse. We can connect it to it, and we can connect Tableau to our data which is stored on Amazon or Azure web services. So we can fetch the data online and uh, create a visualization from that data. Another thing is that it also provides us a very uh, simple feature of drag and drop. So we can drag our columns and rows, and the data is automatically charted into the format that we selected, like bar diagram or line diagram or pie charts.
Yeah, correct.
Compared
So
to, yes, please go ahead.
yeah, I was saying that when you say that Microsoft Excel also provides the data visualization thing, um, I would say that Tableau is a Microsoft Excel in itself, but it is Microsoft Excel on steroids. So in Microsoft Excel, you have to create the pivot tables yourself. But here, you don't have to create the pivot tables. This is done internally by the Tableau because it's very smart, you would say. So all the things that we can do in Excel by utilizing X amount of time, we reduce that X amount of time by using Tableau to, let's say, 0.3, zero point 0.4 of X.
Another very useful feature of Tableau is that it provides us the Tableau desktop edition provides us multiple features like creating sheets or dashboards. In sheets, what we can do is we can chart our individual maps. We can chart our two columns and create a diagram. On sheet 2, we can chart two different columns and create a diagram. And on dashboard, we can combine these two, create a filter on both of these, and we've got a very useful sheet on which everything is clickable. And on the basis of every click, we can filter data in one or two, or if we have got more sheets, in all of these sheets. So it becomes very intuitive and very beneficial for the customer. However, in Excel, it's not that. So we've got to, hide multiple sheets. We have to protect our data, protect data sheets so that data is not corrupted when we are doing something in the pivot table. Here it's not so. The data is separate and the chart is separate. And another great thing is that if we've got multiple tabs in a sheet and they've got something common which we can join upon, Tableau also gives us the capability and capability to join these tables together on the basis of these columns. And if the columns are, named in the same manner or the naming convention is same, it might join them by itself if you just drag and drop the sheets there. So it's very beneficial and faster to use.
Yeah. So
is-
as
It is not a software which is used to, store data. It is a software which is used to get the most out of the data which has already been stored or captured by the customer.
yeah, it helps you to actually get to the decision points very quickly, which would take a long time without having the visualizations. That's the sole purpose of any data visualization sheet or tool. So here we see this is Tableau public edition that I am using right now. And I connected to a sheet which is Microsoft Excel in itself. It has shown me the this data source, right? It shows me the sheet 1, that's worksheet which Kshitij was saying. This thing is a sheet symbol. This one is a dashboard, and this is the story point. Now let's see what is a story point. If you would see my which I was showing you, this is actually a story point. It has got a different number of questions, and it's kind of a story that you can tell your users. This is actually a story point. Right. Data source, as you can see, when I connect it to one of the Excel workbooks, it has got 3 different sheets here, which I can see if I drag and drop them here, it will come up. And also we can do the joins. If I bring it here, it will join itself, and I can change the join, how it is joined. It is joined through ear right now, and it is done inner join, left join. You can change the joins as you want and increase the amount of number of joins that you can have. So let's look at this first. I'm not going to add any more. So we go to sheet. Right. So this is actually the thing. Now, on the left hand side, we have the data pane and the analytics pane. The data pane actually, yeah. Somebody asking something? Okay. So in the data pane, we have got all the different columns of the tables. We have got 2 different sheets or 2 different tables, you would say, in one workbook. So World Cup and World Cup matches. In here, we have different columns which are divided into the dimensions and the measures. So, and then we go to the right hand side, which is pages shelf, filter shelf, mark shelf, the columns, rows, and these kind of things are there. Now, if we would want to know what is the difference between is it getting Longer than usual, or should I move ahead with the next?
Cheryl, I have a question.
Mhm.
You talked about different editions of Tableau. So this one is Tableau Public. So is this one also free one? Because you mentioned the other one as free.
Yeah, I mentioned Tableau Reader and Tableau
Yeah.
Public. These two are free of cost.
Two are free. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to make an account somewhere like the screen that you just showed about the two Microsoft Excels. You created somewhere some account.
To publish it online, you would need to sign up here onto the public.tableau.com, and then you can publish it online.
Okay, and the other screen which you were just showing, that one, how did you open? Because
This
I
one?
just want to know how did you start it from scratch?
This one.
Yes.
Okay. When I downloaded this, installed it, double click it,
Okay.
it will open up.
So this is the tool screen only.
No, it will open up this one. Just a second.
Okay.
It will open this data source screen where you can choose the data, which kind of a data you want. Now, if I show you
Okay.
again here,
Yes.
I'm closing the data.
Okay.
This is my first screen, which will open up.
Okay.
And it will ask me to connect to a file, Microsoft Excel, text, JSON, Microsoft Access, PDF files, and other kind of
Yes.
server data as well. We have data connectors.
Right.
We have got the Google spreadsheets as well. Now
Yes.
I clicked on the Excel onto an Excel workbook, and it shows me the different sheets here. Right. I drag and drop these. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I dragged and dropped the sheets. Created
You can
an
have
inner
more
join.
than two also, I suppose.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
do this as well here. Here also it does that. Does the same.
Okay, fine.
Then
Yeah.
I moved on to the worksheet, the working area of our. This is the working area of our Tableau, right?
Okay.
And we have all the columns been divided into the dimensions and the measures itself.
Right.
Right. So what is a dimension? What is the measure? What are the parameters? What are calculated fields? And what is the difference between a group and a set? These are all theoretical questions which we can look at. So we have already gone through the dimension and measure, so we'll cover up this one. So fields are divided into dimensions and measures. Now the dimensions and measures, both of these can be continuous or discrete. So what is continuous and discrete, you would ask. But before that, we have to actually be able to recognize what is continuous on the screen and what is discrete. So if you would see that this thing here, the continuous part is green in color, right? And the discrete part is actually blue in color, right? In both, either in measures or in dimensions. Now the thing is, what is dimension and what is measure? So dimension is the qualitative fields present inside your worksheet. The qualitative fields, I would mean those that are not quantitative, because that's measure. Quantitative means all those things that are numerical in itself, or I would say that aggregation function on that particular column of the worksheet is possible. Those are measures. If it is numerical in nature, it is measure. Most probably it would be a measure because we can aggregate that. And if it is a non-numerical field or qualitative field, then it is a dimension. Correct? With me?
Yes.
So now what are discrete and continuous fields? So discrete fields are finite and continuous fields are like a given range. For example, if we talk about the date field, what is a date field? Is it a measure or is it a dimension? I would ask. Anybody?
Field would be a dimension because it specifies a specific discrete value.
Correct. It will specify a value which we can use to segregate our data. But it will not be only discrete. It can be a continuous one as well. So what is the difference in the discrete and the continuous? The discrete field would mean today's date. It's single date today, that is a discrete field. But if I combine two different dates, today and tomorrow, there will be a difference. Let's say today a value stands at 5 and tomorrow the value stands at 10. So when I draw a graph, there will be two discrete data points, 5 and 10. And if I use a line graph to join these, right, it will show me something, or I can just show you over here. So if I have the year and let's say I'm to do a measure number of games itself, I do. Now these are both green. So what do you imply by the green pills over here?
Dimension.
No, the green and the blue different pills that I showed you. Anyone?
It's continuous.
Yeah, correct.
It's
The
continuous
green,
field.
correct. The green pills show that these are continuous and the blue fields show that these are discrete. So this is a continuous and continuous line graph like this. Now if I convert this to a discrete, what happened? Tableau itself thought that it is a discrete year. So it will be a year 30, 1930, 1934 in all the years where the World Cup matches took place. And it broke it into the best possible chart that it can think of. And that chart was bar graph and not the line. If I change it to a line chart, you will also get this particular thing, which is quite similar to if I do it a continuous. But if you see, there are different changes. If I use this, and now I'm changing, now see the difference. See? So the difference? This point, 1938. It is also still the same, but here it has got the values in between as well. Between this point and this point, it has got the values. That's what is continuous is now. This is 38. Even between there are values here, but it won't show it because in the tooltip, here, we have got the year and the sum. So that's mainly the main difference between the discrete fields and the continuous fields. All right, so next thing would be to go about parameters and calculate fields. Now, parameters, so we are the technical people, so we already know what parameter is. So anybody would want to tell on their own terms what is a parameter? Then I'll show how to create a parameter. Okay, so into the data pane, onto any of the fields, we right click it and create. We have the options like calculated field, we have groups, sets, and parameters. These are very important for us to go. So I clicked on this parameter, and I can change the name, data type. So a parameter is actually the user entered field that we have. And why do we create a parameter? Like in coding, that we use the parameter so that we don't have to write the code again and again, and on the basis of the parameters, the code is able to find its it's able to do a particular task on the basis of the parameters. That's the complete same thing that we have over here. So now if I do a parameter of the year, because we have the year here, create parameter, integer, current value 1930, display automatic, it's in the range minimum 1930, maximum 2014, and do a OK. It comes a parameter. I have to show the parameter control, so it is showing me here, and if I drag it, nothing is happening as of now, correct? So to actually make that happen, I have to create a function which we were to make it in our coding languages. So here the function is called the calculated field. So, and the calculated field itself is created from, so you have to again click on this data pane, right click it, create calculated field, and it has got the name and the formula that I'm going to write. If the parameter was year parameter, is equals to year, then what are we finding out? Sum of game. And what is this? Sorry, will not come here. Now, if you see that it is showing me all the things, and if I have calculation 1 and I change it, or rather let's not change it, I'm doing this, see, it is not showing the second one, it's showing just 1.6156 because the parameter here says it's 1930. Now I change the parameter 36, it will change Here it will be 1936. All right, remove this, then you probably would be able to see it better. (2014). This one is the calculation one. This changed with year date. I'm changing the date and the data is getting changed itself. So that is the calculated field. And we can do a lot of stuff using the calculated field because it's kind of a heart of the Tableau, because the things that you can't do by dragging and dropping onto the screen, you can do it using the calculations. So the next thing is groups and sets. So what are the differences between a group and a set? And I would, before telling it to everybody, I would like to know what do you feel or think is a group and a set. Anybody? No?
Terminology wise, both of these seem same. We call a group a set and a set a group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's the difference in Tableau for that. Set may be the mathematical term.
Okay, so let me give you an example first, and then probably you all would know that what is a group and what is a set. So we are a Prism team, correct? And we have, let's say, 15 members at this point in time. 15 members in the Prism team. But who all are the members in this team? There are some MS guys, that's Microsoft guys. There are some Oracle DB guys, and there are some testers involved in this as well. So when I have one particular field called the team members, and within that team members, I have Microsoft guys, I have Oracle guys, and I have the testers. So one field actually have been divided into three different fields, which is
Groups.
yes, because your team has been divided into groups, and these groups are testers, Oracle developers, .NET developers, three things, but into a same variable name, that is your Prism team. So in groups, we have one variable divided into different groups on the basis of the number of elements it has. That's a group. Now let's compare it with the set. What would be a set like? On our floor, if somebody asks somebody, where is the Prism team? They will point out an area on our floor at the first and the second bay that we used to sit on, correct? So that person who asked for the Prism team is very much concerned about the Prism team itself. He or she doesn't care about what else on the floor is going on and who all are there. All right, so it has actually reduced the amount of people to just the Prism team from all the floor. When we are reducing our amount of values points, the amount of value points that we have inside a particular, you can say, variable name, then would say that we are talking about the sets. So a set would be in a set would be in or out kind of a thing. So let's have a function. Let's say we have a function which tells me true or false. Is this Prism team true, or is this a Prism team false? That is a set. So it has reduced the amount of uh, data points in a variable and created a new variable with another name, and that variable falls under the category of sets. Does it make sense? Now let's create a set and a group. So I have a question. I have all the data here from 1930 to 2014. I want to see the data in terms of how many matches were there from 1930 in the 20th century and in the 21st century. So how would I accomplish that? Can anybody answer that?
You can create two set of data, one having the matches from 20th century and second from 21st.
Two sets.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you guide me? If I click on calculated field, go to set, I have to click some, right? So what all should I click and what should I not include?
For the total, if you are creating a set only for the data for 20th century, then it exclude all the years after 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You have to include 1998.
Like this?
Yeah.
So what will it give me?
It will give you all the data from 20th century.
From the 20th century. And I also wanted to see the 21st century as well.
Then you have to create another set.
So I'll be creating another set, right?
Yes.
Okay. But first let me see, let's say home goals I'm doing this time around. So in and out, right? These two are coming out. Out is, you say it's a 21st century out, and this is 20th century, correct?
No, we only selected the data for 20th century. There is no data from 21st century here.
Why not? There is data. Let's see. Out. In means true. 20th century true. And out. 21st century out. We have got both the datas.
You know, in the column section, we have only selected the set one value. All right. Set one does not include any of the matches that was held in 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
So how can it give a data for 21st century?
Okay. So you want me to show it like this? Show only the members.
Again, this is only the data for 20th century. It does not include any data from 21st century.
Correct. But let's say if I wanted to see what is the distribution among 20th century and 21st century, then I could have created a group rather than creating a set. What would I do? Create group. This is 20th century and this R for 21st century.
So here again, you see you've created two groups.
Yeah.
All right. So and I was also talking about creating two sets. So maybe this is a term that is used by this software that a set cannot include data other than the ones that you've already selected.
Yes, that is the difference between a group and a set. Because set is reducing the data points, whereas a group is not reducing the number of data points, it's just segregating or categorizing them into two different groups. So if we go here and drop it out here, remove this one, what happened there? It is showing me home goals 20 and
There is still a filter of set one. If you remove that set one from the filter shelf.
It gives me 20 and 21st century, but it does not tells me in or out kind of a thing, which it was showing me before. I can rename this to 20th century, I can rename this to 21st century, and this way I will have a very good data set which will show me that the number of goals were more in 20th century and number of goals are less in 21st century up until now. See?
So basically, you're saying that difference is that in case of groups, we cannot reduce the amount of data that we have in the Excel file. However,
Yeah.
using sets, we can reduce the amount of data that we need to display.
Yes.
But again, in the sets, it was showing only these two values.
It was showing it because it has got the show value as an option. Let me see this one. This one. It has got in and out, true and false kind of a value because it has got the show head, show in out set or show the members in the set. So members in the set would be just 20th century. But if you see in and out, you will have the one inside the set, which is 20th, and which is outside, which is 21st century. So it's more like a Venn diagram that we used to see in our joins. Correct? So we can use them as and when we require them and what the need be. Now, next, I would like to leave this to you. There are some terminologies in the Tableau. I guess you can see it now. Aliases, bins, bookmarks. So what are these? Aliases, I'm sure people from Oracle would understand that it refers to a field or a dimension member, the name that we give it rather than the actual name it has in the table. The bins, user-defined groupings of the measures in the data source. That is, let's say we had this till 2014. And if I have to divide the number of years into some bins and I want to show it through a bar, it is showing like this. Or if I go to year or actual year, maybe not this one, the actual year. Right, so it is showing me the years here, 2010, 2006, this, that. Now I want to combine 2010 and 2006. Let's say 2 years each one. So in that case, I can create a bin. And how to create that? Similar way, in the right click, create a bin, size of the bin. A bin has been created, and now I go here. Now see what has happened over here. The matches happened in 2014, 2010, 2006. But below you can see 2012 is also there, which it was not there when we don't have the bins. So bins are actually segregated. The size was 2. So if you see 2010 to 2012 and 2012 to 2014, there are 2 as a difference between. If I change this bin size, I can do a whole lot of things. Edit. If I change to, let's say, 8, see what happened there. All the values from 2008 to 2014 combined into one. From 2000 to 2008, everything has been combined here. From 1992 to 2000, everything combined in this thing. So that's the main task of a bin, that you can combine the values by providing the size of the bin, right? The bookmark calculated field. Bookmark is very easy. It's a kind of you have bookmarked to one of the visualization in your workbook. Calculated field we have seen. A cross tab, dashboard, data pane. Okay, so the data pane, we have told that this is called the data pane here. The dashboard is this one, right? So dashboard is actually a collection of sheets. You can have multiple sheets around. It's a single data visualization, whereas our dashboard would be a combination of different sheets. Second, can bring it down here, and there's another visualization in here that we can perform. Dashboard is a combination of different sheets. Let me go to the story point also. New story point. Now story point has got this captions, which is a very good facility if you are telling a story, and it has got the sheets, it has got the dashboards as well. So you can use a dashboard here, and then also you can use the sheets, different sheets, left hand side, or you can add it onto the right hand side. Just drag and drop. The sheet is empty. Sheet number 2 is empty, but sheet number 1 has got a visualization. So this is actually a story point. You can change the name here, and it's dynamic sheet name. So if you change it down below, it will automatically come up. Let's say if I change this to story 3, the name also changes here because it has got a dynamic name. Then we have cross tab, the data source page. I think you aware of data source page. This is the data source wherein you can do a save. Because it's a Tableau edition, it will save to the Tableau public, because I already am logged in into my Tableau public here. You can see I can sign out from here. And also the refresh data. If, for example, you have changed the underlying data and added some more after 2014, you have added more years where data has come in, and you do a refresh of data, it will refresh the data, and it will say that if you modify the filters that you have used might not work after the refresh of the data. So that is a way that you can refresh the data. You can add more connections through here. Let's say you have one connection here. I can go with this. Another worksheet created. And another data has come in. This was actually in terms of a query. This sheet name is query. It has combined itself in left data join. So it's more intuitive to know that what might be the possible joins that you would require. However, these two data sets are completely different, but still it has got itself a join. So that's a data source page. Now let's create a cross tab. Here, if we have a bars, click on the marks card. This is a marks card. This is a mark shelf, filter shelf, pages shelf, and this is the data pane as we have already seen. So into the marks card, I changed to, no, sorry. Actually, it has got a show me button over here, where it has got me so many different kind of charts, and I can just choose them accordingly. Now this is actually a cross tab. It's a cross in nature, and it's called the cross tab. Right, this is a heat map. So this is a highlight table. We can just maneuver it from here. So these are two maps, but because we don't have the latitude and the longitude values in our data, these are not visible for us to choose. But all those charts that are visible, we can choose and we can change. We'll look through these in the coming sessions. But for now, it is just an overview to you that these kind of charts are available. Right, these are the tree maps. This one is the circle view, box plotter, bubble chart. So we have many options over here. Data source page. Now we have talked about the dimensions. We have talked about the measures. What is an extract? So sometimes what happens is we have a lot of data. Let's say more than millions of rows are there, and the data is getting refreshed daily, like in case of COVID-19. So data is being refreshed daily. So how would you work on that kind of a data and provide the visualization to your audience? So to do that, you have to refresh the data daily, so that the visualizations that you are showing is current. And extracting basically does is it saves the data that is available inside your hard disk or maybe online. It saves the data in the Tableau worksheet itself, and it does it periodically. So for the Oracle people, I can say it's kind of a materialized view. Now, if we know what a materialized view is, they would be able to understand. But for the Microsoft guys, the extract is actually a snapshot of the data taken at a particular time frame. And that extract of data is actually stored inside the workbook of our Tableau itself, so that when you open the Tableau reader or when you open the Tableau edition on which you have the worksheet, it doesn't take long to refresh the data because there are more than a million rows. So it would take so much time. When the data is already present, a snapshot data is already present, it will not update on its own again and again. And then you can specify the amount of time that you want, the subsequent refreshes you want, or the overall refreshes you want. So this is a little high level of Tableau extraction. The filter shell, we have seen the format panes. Yeah, I can show you the format panes. Whenever I right click on this, click on format, it shows me the format pane where we can change the, we have different sheet, row level, column level. You can change the formatting. This is the different fonts, and then we have the alignment of the fonts. We can do the shading. We can do. It's the most simplest one, and I like to do it a lot. Right, shading has been done. The borders that you can add, remove, right, and the grid lines on the back side, grid lines that we had, you can have them, you can remove them. Now at this point in time it is not visible because it is a bubble chart, and by default the lines are not visible in a bubble chart. So this is actually the format pane. Then we have the LODs. I'll keep this one for the next lectures. The marks I have told you, the marks card I have already shown to you. The pages shelf, rows shelf, worksheet, and the workbooks. I think there should not be any confusion between the worksheet and the workbook. This is a worksheet, and this also is the worksheet. But if we save it, because it is a Tableau public edition, it will not save on my hard disk. For that, you can use the public. You can use the Tableau desktop version, maybe professional version or the private version. Then you can save it, and when you save it, it gives you the format of .twbx. So that's a workbook, you would say, but the X in that would mean that the data source is also present with this worksheet. When you open that worksheet on some other's machine who has got the desktop edition, he or she can make some changes to the data visualization that you have. And because you have the data, he or she can use the columns that are other than the ones that have been used inside this visualization. Like we have the home runs, home goals, and year that we have used here. But other than that, we can use a country as well. We can use other things as well. See, show me is a little cheat, so you can go about this anytime. Right.
Cheryl, if you can go back to that visualization.
Yeah.
And click on the show me button. It's also showing the maps.
Yeah, because I have used a country.
Yeah, can you click on the maps to show it? All right, it might take some time. You can click on cancel.
No, it's not a big deal. It will be available over here soon, or maybe because of this is happening. It will show all the maps because Rochelle has got the year.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And how would you know that longitude and the latitude would come? So we have the different, okay, let's go into the data source. And like we have the data variables of the different types. These are the types. ABC, that's a text one. This is a calendar or a date one. This is a number. So whenever you see a hash sign, it's a number. And most probably it will be taken as a measure value in your data visualization worksheet. And when you have this globe kind of a symbol, right? These globe kind of signal are latitude and the longitude. Now this latitude and the longitude was not there inside my data set, does not have these. This is created by default by the Tableau itself, so that it can map the latitude and the longitude if you have in your sheet, or the country name or the city name that you might have. It will be plotted onto a map by Tableau. It's so very smart. So as you can see, sheet, when I change the sheet visualization, dashboard got changed automatically. The story point itself also would have. Yeah. So after that, for today's session, this is all here is to. The next session, we would be studying about more different things like level of details, and we'll be having a hands-on session onto the different charts, different kind of charts. And now I would like to ask you if you have any questions, you can ask. So there's no question as of now. Okay.
Cheryl,
Yeah.
Cheryl, I think you can also tell about hierarchies.
Yeah, I can. I thought that I'll be telling you in the next lecture, but yeah,
Yeah, we can
then that's
continue it
okay.
in the next one.
Yeah, then that's okay.
Yeah, these are hierarchies shown like
Yeah,
this.
that's okay. And, just cover it in next session.
Yeah,
We'll cover it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cheryl. That was very clear, concise, and to the point.
Yeah, you're welcome.